All right, what's up, guys? Brian here, and this is my WWE Monday Night Raw review for last night's episode, as well as my thoughts on that episode last night. Before we begin, one bit of news coming out of today is that apparently WWE has hired a former Impact Wrestling announcer who looks as if he's finished with Impact Wrestling in Jeremy Borash. Borash had been with Impact Wrestling since the beginning, and apparently this weekend he finished up with the company. So it looks like Jeremy Borash is WWE bound. So it'll be interesting to see how they bring him in, what they have him doing. Are they going to have him as a announcer, like an interviewer backstage, or maybe have as a commentator? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But that is the big story coming out of today. So getting into last night's Raw, overall, I thought it was a pretty good show coming off the heels of the Royal Rumble event. This is not going to be a full review. We did see two title matches last night. Both championships were retained, the Intercontinental title as well as the Raw Tag title. We saw an incredible match between Asuka and Sasha Banks, where Asuka picked up the hard-fought victory. We found out that at Elimination Chamber, which is going to be Raw's next brand-only event, there's going to be not one Elimination Chamber match, but there is going to be two. There's going to be a men's and women's Elimination Chamber match happening in a couple of weeks. Alexa Bliss will be defending her Raw Women's title inside that Women's Elimination Chamber match. Who the 5 challengers are going to be, we're going to hopefully find out in the next couple of weeks before that event. But we do know the identity of 3 of the 6 men that will be in the Men's Elimination Chamber match to earn a shot at WrestleMania and the Universal title, currently held by Brock Lesnar. We found out that Braun Strowman, he qualified with a very strong and impressive dominance of defeating Kane in a last man standing match last night, where he beat Kane down near the commentators area, and then picked up the entire set of where the commentary table and everything was at, lifted it up and flipped it onto Kane, and that kept Kane down. They then did a little bit later on. They then did a little bit of a storyline update. Kane was taken to a medical facility, and he got up. And basically crawled out of the medical facility. So that was the storyline update that they gave them. They gave fans that Kane crawled out of the medical facility and nobody has seen him. So it'll be interesting to see when Kane returns. Hopefully this is the end of this Braun Strowman-Kane feud. Hopefully they move Braun Strowman onto something else, because, he's going to the Elimination Chamber, but everybody knows he's probably not going to win that. There has been talk of him maybe challenging The Miz for the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. They could change their plans. WWE could change plans for Braun, for Strowman. Who knows? We saw Elias qualify last night. He defeated Matt Hardy with a little bit of a distraction from Bray Wyatt, and that's what cost Matt Hardy the win, and Elias is going to be in the Elimination Chamber match. And then John Cena was the third guy to qualify last night, defeating Finn Balor in what was a pretty good matchup. It wasn't a great match, but it was a pretty good match between Balor and Cena. We saw a incredible match between Asuka and Sasha Banks, both involved in the Women's Royal Rumble match this past Sunday. This one I would recommend checking out because these two, I don't know how, they pretty much took it to the limit last night on Raw. At one point in the match, Asuka was on the outside of the ring, and Sasha went and dove through the ropes, and Asuka hit a kick on her when she was coming through, and Sasha looked like she almost broke her neck the way she landed. I don't know how both of them continued the match. Asuka even took a nasty bump on the outside of the ring as well. When Sasha was on the apron, Asuka went to go hit that a move on her, and Sasha moved out of the way, and Asuka landed on back first onto the arena floor. So, but my hats off to both of them for putting on a pretty solid matchup. But Asuka picked up the win with the Asuka Lock. Of course, she won the Women's Royal Rumble on Sunday. She's going to WrestleMania to challenge the champion of her choosing. And she really showed why she deserved that opportunity in that match last night against Sasha. What else? But yeah, pretty much, that was pretty much it. There was a couple other things, as I mentioned. The Intercontinental title was on the line, Miz and Roman Reigns. Miz retained with the help from the Miztourage. Sheamus and Cesaro, who won the Raw Tag titles at the Royal Rumble from Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan. They retained over Titus Worldwide. And some other stuff they talked about Ronda Rousey debuting at the Royal Rumble, but nothing really else as far as other things that happened. So my overall thoughts on last night's Raw was that I thought it was a pretty good episode last night, coming off the heels of the Royal Rumble. I thought it was a lot better episode than last week's Raw 25. A couple of good matches. Like I mentioned, they did a great job of showing the dominance of Braun Strowman, when he defeated Kane. I thought the Asuka and Sasha Banks match was actually a very great matchup. Finn Balor and John Cena put on a pretty good match. But yeah, overall, I thought Raw was pretty good. Nothing really, I can't really say anything bad about it, about last night's episode. So I thought it was actually pretty good. So with that being said, if you guys watched last night's Raw, let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments below. And what do you think is going to happen as far as next week is concerned, in the next couple of weeks? And we already know that probably Roman Reigns will somehow be entered into that Elimination Chamber match, and he'll probably win it to face Lesnar at WrestleMania. So, it is what it is. So, with that being said, if you guys watched last night's Raw, let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments below. This has been my WWE Monday Night Raw review and my thoughts on last night's episode. So, with that being said, I am Brian, and thank you for watching.